Alright, so I'm going to do something a little different. Going to do a commentary about the rules changes in um, Magic 2010 and an evaluation of some of the new cards. So I usually like to get all my uh, spoiler information from MTG Salvation, but I had a little dispute with one of their moderators, so I've been banned from the site. They didn't like me speculating that cards could be printed that they didn't think could be printed. So I got to cut. They've got some totalitarian moderators, and they think once they've thought something through as being reasonable as far as something that could be printed, then that's the end of that discussion. Even though speculation by its nature is pretty open, and as it happened, one of the restrictions he put on the topic being discussed wound up being broken with what was actually printed. It was the new dual lands, right? One of the things he said is since they're replacing the pain lands, they have to be able to come into play untapped turn one. So anybody that suggested anything else got citations. So with the restrictions they put, it's like meaningless to speculate, because they certainly have no certainty that their point of view, that their restrictions on whatever they think is going to happen are true. It's all hearsay. So anyway, so I don't like authority figures that aren't justified, and forum moderators are the worst offenders. The worst. Okay. But if you use Google's translator, you can go ahead and go look at their stuff anyway. It doesn't matter that they banned my IP. Let's see. So we've got... I'll go over the cards first, and then I'll talk about the rules changes. So M10 is in Gatherer. They just have the link here. So Salvation is certainly good. MTG Salvation is certainly good because they they have all the rumors and stuff and the spoiled stuff, leaks information. Okay, so just do it alphabetically. First up is Acidic Slime. This guy is, as far as limited goes, he's pretty amazing. He's 5 for a 2/2 Death Touch. When he enters the battlefield, as it's now called, with the rule changes, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. So basically you pay one more than Creeping Mold, which used to be playable. Not for a long time, because it's way too expensive now, as Magic has accelerated. For one more mana than Creeping Mold, you get a 2/2 Death Touch. I guess I can mention some of the rules, like with the new way that combat works, you have to order. If you get blocked by more than one guy, you have to order the blockers. So the first guy in the order is the first one who takes lethal damage, which is equal to his toughness, and then any extra damage spills over. With Death Touch, there's an exception to that. So Death Touch creatures can just deal 1 to each. Like let's say 2 guys block the Acidic Slime for some stupid reason. You could do 1 to each, right? Instead of having to do 2 to 1 or whatever, if it had a 2 toughness. So this guy's really good. I don't know if he's constructed worthy. He could be in some kind of rock decks, being able to hit a land for 5 is pretty significant, and to have a body left over. So if Lando is still viable, he'd be good for that. As kind of a creature kill / Lando, a 2 for 1 to kill anything that they put out early. The artifact or enchantment part, it depends on the format and whatnot. But since you can always hit a land, that's kind of cool. certainly good. Acolyte of Zathrid here. It's pretty bad. One for a 0/1 human cleric. Yeah, another one for the cleric tribe. Colorless and a black tap. Target player loses 1 life. Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, everyone's going at a 1 rating, and that's pretty good. That's pretty accurate. 2 mana to make someone lose 1 life. Tap. Yeah. Doesn't even have 1 power. Act of Treason is a functional reprint of Threaten. It's a 3 mana sorcery. It has a different name, but you gain control of target creature until end of turn. You untap it, and it gains haste. It's the same thing as Threaten, but now you can play this and Threaten. They did a lot of these functional reprints in Magic 2010 because they felt like they needed to change up the flavor a little bit. I think it's fine, I guess. I think the fact that they did so many functional reprints instead of just making new cards is kind of a wasted opportunity. It would be easy to put a slightly different a slightly different angle on these cards and make them almost like functional reprints. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be good and limited. Might even be okay in constructed, depending on the metagame. Air Elemental got reprinted. As always, it'll be a bomb in limited. Top pick, better than removal. Some rare bombs will be better, but Air Elemental is ridiculous. The Planeswalkers are getting reprinted. So here's a Johnny gold main with the new symbol. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see this that well because the screen recorder I use isn't amazing. But you get the idea. Anyway, so they're epic rares or super whatever rares. What's it called? Epic rare. I don't know. Mythic rare. Right. Yeah. Okay. Mythic rares now. Ajani. Yeah. Always good. Ridiculous and limited, which is what I play mostly. Constructed. Sure. Great. Always. Very powerful cards, the Planeswalkers. Alluring Siren. It's really cool artwork. A colorless and a blue for a 1/1 tap. Target creature an opponent controls attacks this turn if able. This has always been an interesting ability. Usually it's on a creature that's a little too expensive. 2 for a 1/1 though. It'll actually be playable and limited. I don't know how highly I would rate it. A lot of times they're going to want to attack anyway, and you're playing blue, which means you're not going to always have the biggest creatures to make bad trades for them. But blue-green, this guy would be amazing. Something like that, or even blue-white with the right cards. Or any color combination, really. Blue-black would probably be tough. Though you can make it so that a guy can't use his tapper on your turn or something. So you make his tapper attack, and then his tapper just taps one of your guys in response. And then he can't tap your guy on your turn, etc. So probably a mid-range pick, depending on your deck. Angel's Feather got reprinted. It's the 2-mana artifact for 2-mana artifact, and whenever a white spell is cast, you gain a life. It's always been fine. I don't think those ever broke constructed play, so they could probably make a reprint to cycle at this 1 mana with that ability, and it would probably be fine. For a long game, it would give you a lot of life, but it would take you a lot of time. So, and you could, your opponent could destroy it if they saw fit. Angel's Mercy, 4 mana. I think this is a new card. Yeah, it's just Magic 2010. 2 mana and 2 white. Instant, you gain 7 life. It's pretty horrible. We've had a lot more efficient life gain cards before, and they've not been playable and constructed. And in limited, even less so. Even if you'd have to have a combo with it, and it's just really inefficient. There's much better cards for life gain than that. That's just terrible. That's basically toilet paper. Maybe if you have a tempo game or something, you could board it in. It's like a fog. Okay. Ant Queen. This is a new rare. It's